Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast reviews of movies and talks about nerd shit. This is episode 687, and it is your review of Dazed and Confused, man. I'm dazed and I'm confused today already. Yes, Dazed and Confused as we celebrate the release of Richard Linklater's newest film, Hitman, as we discuss one of his, most famous works and the birth of the all right meme. Yeah. As always, this is the Nerd. You're gonna hear the whole show alongside wonderful co-host Brad Young Yoda.
Hey man, welcome everybody to a wonderful what day? Thursday afternoon.
Thursday afternoon, man.
Afternoon, the sun is shining, it's all gravy.
Yeah. My God, if you didn't know what movie we were talking about, I think that 100% just gives it away, huh, Brad?
I just want to know how you can be a bully and wear overalls.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would like to know that too. But yeah, apparently pieces of shit come in every shape and form.
Every shape and form.
Yeah. But Brad, before we get into today's review, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I had a pretty pleasant day at work. All my coworkers and bosses were in a whole different part of the state than me, so it was quiet.
Nice. So you're saying like
I gotta stay at work and everybody else left.
Fucking sucks for you, Brad.
Nah, it was cool.
You're like, I got to just have peace and quiet at work.
Have peace and quiet and actually attempt to get some stuff that I've been meaning to get done.
Yeah.
Done.
Then what's it called? You have to wait for Brandon to come in from work, and now you get to do this.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I got a 10-piece.
You got a 10-piece.
I got a 10-piece
from McDonald's, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Well, I know it's not real food, but it tastes good.
Oh man. Well, yeah, man. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you had a good time today. We're gonna be going ahead and doing this review today, but I have not much going on. I got a long day of doing tomorrow of like a bunch of apartment tours, which at this point I don't even think we might be moving to this apartment, but we'll see. I think it all depends on next week what we hear back from that job that I've interviewed for.
Mm-hmm.
But I have some apartment tours to do tomorrow, and then yeah, pretty much just got that stacked up for me. But looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing that stuff tomorrow. I watched The Acolyte and I've been watching some Dragon Ball Super. Just doing all that stuff.
Has The Boys dropped?
Yes, The Boys dropped today. Yes, I believe so because
watching that.
Today is Thursday. It should be up already. Actually, let me check.
All 3 episodes.
Yep, 1, 2, and 3 all up right now, and they're all an hour, 59 minutes, and an hour and 2 minutes long. Awesome.
Nice.
That's a lot. But
you always say that.
Yeah. But we can
do that last night. You said that last night.
Yeah.
It's an hour and 18 minutes. I gotta play Warzone.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Well, Brad, yeah. If Brad is referencing the TV show commentary we did yesterday of
the
night of. So I hope that you all go and check that out over on patreon.com/nerdcore, where we're streaming this live and early for our wonderful patrons, where we get to have this early ad free and exclusive to them for now until it releases on Saturday at 12 p.m. So get on that at the $1 tier. $5 tier has the TV show commentaries and a lot of other stuff, and a lot of other really cool exclusives. So
also shout out to everyone who's watched our review of Dogtooth. That's up to 8. I didn't think we'd get that many after the whole lobster experience.
Yeah. I think it's going up, Brad. I think it's going up. Yeah. We'll see what's up. But in the meantime, that's all we got for now. Right now, let's go ahead and get into this review, Brad.
Yeah.
So if you have not watched the Dazed and Confused, you should probably get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers, or you've already seen the film, go ahead and stay. Either way, how it goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a 5, 4. Brad, you better be ready with that. That banner. 3, 2, 1. Today's episode of the Nerdcore is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCore. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, let's go ahead and read this stuff here from Wikipedia.
Yeah, you got a whole like page.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Dazed and Confused is a 1993 American coming-of-age comedy film written and directed by Richard Linklater. The film follows a variety of teenagers on the last day of school in Austin, Texas. In 1976, the film has no single protagonist or clear central conflict, rather following interconnected plot threads among different social groups and characters, such as rising ninth graders undergoing hazing rituals, a football star's refusal to sign a clean living pledge for his coach, and various characters hanging out at a pool hall. The film features a large ensemble cast of actors who will later become stars, including Jason London, Ben Affleck, Mila Jovovich, Cole Hauser, Parker Posey, Adam Goldberg, Matthew McConaughey, Nikki Cat, Joey Lauren Adams, and Rory Cochrane. Yeah. Linklater originally planned to make a teen film after his breakout feature Slacker. Slacker caught the attention of Universal Pictures producer Jim Jacks, who secured $6 million for Linklater's next feature. Linklater drew heavily on his adolescence in Huntsville, Texas, to write the script, lifting the names of several people from his hometown for the characters. Most actors cast for the film were undiscovered talent, including McConaughey, who became the film's breakout star. Linklater shot the film around Austin with several members of his crew from Slacker. The actors were encouraged to improvise and develop their own characters, with some writing in extra scenes. Linklater gathered several 1970s rock songs for the soundtrack, while the film was marketed by Gramercy Pictures as a stoner film, to Linklater's dismay. It's not a stoner film. Released on September 24th, 1993, Dazed and Confused was a commercial disappointment at the box office, grossing less than $8 million in the United States. The film later found success on the home video market and has since become a cult classic. It ranked third on Entertainment Weekly's magazine list of the 50 best high school movies. The magazine also ranked it 10th on its funniest movies of the past 25 years list. Reviewers have praised the film for its faithful and humanistic depiction of the setting and out of high school life. Cinematography is by Lee Daniel, edited by Sandra Adair. And it sits at around an hour and 42 minutes on a budget of $6.9 million and made $8.2 million at the box office. Yeah. So that goes to tell you what kind of what it was going up against at that time. You know, they didn't really make that much money like that. But,
yeah, but they sold a lot of VHSs. I'm
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. This is back then when the home video market, ran a fuck ton, Brad.
Yep.
You actually, could recuperate the money that you lost by being able to make some on the home video market. So, now that's not really the case anymore because of streaming and all these other things, weighing down, the home video market. But yeah. Brad, I have never seen this movie before. Have you seen this movie before?
Nope.
I guess do you want me to start this one, Brad?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Floor is yours.
I don't like this movie.
Really?
I think that this movie has some great performances. I think McConaughey is awesome in this movie. I think that Ben Affleck is really good in this movie as well. But I think that this movie does nothing for me narratively. It doesn't interest me narratively. And at the end of it, it's just kind of like, oh, I really don't really care about these characters all that much anymore. That even though I don't even think I had much care for these characters to begin with. But I don't like, narratively care about this movie that much because it's just kind of like following them throughout a day, and it's just them just doing normal high school shit just in the 70s. And there's nothing that I can say there's like a conflict here. There's nothing that's driving these characters to something to accomplish. And I don't know, man. I just felt like I narratively just didn't, connect with this movie or didn't really enjoy it like that. What are your initial thoughts, Brad?
Well, Raul, we got to agree to disagree on this one. So I actually found this movie quite enjoyable. And narratively speaking, I think you're missing the whole point of this movie. This is a snapshot in time movie. It's not necessarily a narrative, the stoner guys fight the jock guys. This is a snapshot of what 76 was at that time frame in, middle America. And I don't know if I've seen anything done as well as that, because I haven't seen the American Graffiti, which is another one that we could bring up. That's another one probably to watch that would probably be a snapshot in time like this. So that's my feeling on this. This is from the 76. It shows you what small town life in 1976 was and does it very well. And what was going in that time frame. And multiple characters, high school kids, and this is a time you will never see again. You'll never see people around beating children and the whole society of this town is like whatever. They're literally driving cars everywhere trying to beat these children, and it's like, is he going to crash and just kill everyone? In any other movie they would both crash and just kill everyone. But when they somehow magically survive, and that's to me is what this movie is about. It's showing you what 1976 is, and I think it does that extremely well.
I don't know, man. I didn't think that, I understand the concept. I understand what it's going for. It just does nothing for me. I don't
I mean, youan looking for a narrative driven story. That's not one of these movies
because it's
not
a
narrative.
Because I've seen like Linklater does that with what's it called, Boyhood, and the more I rewatched Boyhood, I realized how much I don't actually like Boyhood because it feels like it's just it's doing so much, but it's not really moving along. What's it called? It's not the story just isn't moving along to me at a way that it's like really like compelling to me. Whereas in here, it's like it feels the same way. It's like we're just kind of moving throughout this day and like nothing happens, and I can really say that like really strikes a chord or really like feels like it's something what's it called
I mean, I think you're doing a disservice. I think you're doing a disservice when you say nothing's happening. There's a whole lot of shit happening in this movie.
I'm saying there's nothing that's happening to me that's like what's it called compelling. There's nothing to me that
it's
really
not
like
fucking Stand By Me. Like that's a story, built on a narrative of finding a dead body. This is a story of the end of summer, kids getting out of school, and you're seeing what a small town life was in 1976. That's the story. There's nothing really any deeper than that. And Linklater does a perfect job at showing you what 1976 end of summer in a small town was. I mean, he does amazing, and like you'll never see this again. This is a time capsule. That's what this movie is. It's a time capsule of what the 70s was, and you'll never see anything like you'll never see the 80s, and you'll never see the 90s again.
Yeah. Did Ebert review this?
I can look that up. I'm sure he did.
I don't know. I just like I said, Brad. I get it, and I get what it's trying to do.
Yeah, it's not your cup of tea, which is
just
fine.
And there's
but I'm just telling you, you're not getting the narrative, and it's not really a narrative. It's a snapshot of 1976.
Then why not just documentary? Why not like documentaries do that pretty well?
I mean, because not everyone wants to do a documentary. Some people just want to make a movie of what 1976 was like because they really enjoyed that time frame and they missed that time.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they're what's it called? They're like, well, of course there isn't like a story here. There isn't like something like what's it called?
I mean, the story is just following the kids around at the end of summer.
Yeah, no, but there's not like a central conflict here. Like there's nothing that there's nothing that these students and that these kids are trying to like fight against or accomplish.
Well, if you take pieces a bit, you got the nerd who's trying to overcome the fucking jock that has issues with him. You've got a jock who's trying to overcome a coach. There's small conflicts in there. It's not this overarching story you're looking for. It's not there.
Yeah.
Ebert gave
what?
Ebert gave it 3 out of 4.
Ebert gave it 3 out of 4. Okay, you gave it almost pretty much like a 90%. Yeah.
Let me see.
Pretty much almost a perfect score.
Yeah, here the film is art crossed with anthropology. It tells the painful underside of American graffiti. Yeah.
Well, I've never seen
I've never
American
seen
Graffiti.
American Graffiti, but I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen clips of it from Lucas's, and
Yeah.
this is kind of what it reminds me of, those clips. American Graffiti is probably another one like we should watch, and you might dislike, because I don't know, that might have a story to it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's, well, by the way, beautifully restored by the Criterion Collection. I think they did an incredible job on this. It looks good. Cinematography is great. I like the way it looks. Hell, I like the soundtrack as well. I just, what's it called, narratively, and what the film is trying to say, it just fell short to me, and it felt very flat to me. I was just kind of like,
So this is good from Ebert. This last paragraph. The kids, I made the last two. Okay. Here, in addition to limiting his characters and following through on their stories, he quietly introduced an observation. It is always the case in any group of males, students, fraternity boys, military men, businessmen, that the ones most zealous about male bonding rituals, especially those involving drinking and quasi-sexual initiations, are the most troubled. They secretly feel like outsiders as their targets. They choose misfits who are too dumb or too smart, who are different anyway, who do not reflect the mediocrity of the crowd. The kids who enforce this system usually turn out to be losers, and indeed, part of their desperation, part of the reason they cling to status in teenage society, is that they already feel themselves losing. The most pathetic character in Dazed and Confused is a graduate from a few years back in his 20s now, who still hangs out with the kids because he senses that the status he had at 17 was his personal high point. This is a good film, but it would not cheer people up much at a high school reunion.
well, to be fair, Matthew McConaughey's character isn't somebody who's trying to cling on to his, what's it called, to his high school days. That man's a creep. That's
Well,
a
yeah, I'm definitely taking it out.
that's a freaking, what's it called,
Yeah.
that's the guy who, what's it called, is attracted to minors, and he decides to just sit around. He ain't
Honestly,
trying to relive the glory days. Reliving the glory days would be like going back to the football games and just watching them and trying to cheer on the team just because you want to, what's it called, remember the time you were in football. Not this dude who's actively chasing 15-year-olds.
honestly, Ben Affleck's character was probably more, I think, trauma ridden. So
Yeah.
getting held back, and then the freshmen care so little about you that they drop paint on you.
Yeah. Though the mom pulling out a shotgun on that guy was crazy. That definitely doesn't happen these days anymore. I mean, well, it might have happened like in smaller towns.
Bro,
Especially
there's people who shoot people for driving up in their driveway nowadays. So
Yeah.
it definitely happens.
Yeah. Yeah. But this also reminds you, like, back in the 60s and 70s, parents didn't really give a shit. They're like,
No,
you know,
no,
like,
that's another thing. Is like
you come home when you come home.
like in the in the 60s and 70s, like no one was worried about your kid getting kidnapped or a serial killer out there. That all changed in the 80s. That all changed after Jeffrey Dahmer's ass. Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, like when that news got out, like the 80s, they sheltered all of us. In the 90s and continuing on. So that's what I'm saying, is this movie is a time capsule. You're never going to see this ever again, unless like everything just falls apart and we're just kind of left out there to rot.
Yeah. I did not know Renee Zellweger was in this one. What the hell? Where was she in there? Didn't recognize her at all. But yeah, like here, because it's like, it's such a difference between now, because now everyone's got a phone, right? You know, your parents can have your location and they'll know where the hell you are.
Yeah.
Back then was like, hey, once you see that sun start to set, you better be home.
Well, that you can't make movies like this anymore for today's society, because everybody just pull out a phone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know, you pull out a phone and be like, oh, well, I can just, goes, oh, I don't have a car. It was fine. I can just pull up the Uber app and I can
there's
go
no
home.
more questions anymore. It's like it's a Google search away for me to answer any question I want. There's no more like, well, I guess we won't know. All right, let's move on to something else.
Yeah. But yeah, and this movie definitely shows you that, like, you know, parents didn't really give a fuck. You know, like, you know, you're like, what's it called? They leave the house? Cool. I mean, they're gonna come back eventually.
No, I mean, this is
they gotta come back to eat, right? Because what's it called? Nowhere else is there.
Well, and this whole small town, like, it was just a ritual of just, you know, these ninth graders getting followed by these seniors and, you know, being hazed like badly. Even the girls, it's just like, I mean, it's rough out there. Yeah. And it was just seen as just some normal shit.
Like just another day, right? Yeah.
Where today they shut down colleges for that shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hazing is illegal now.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah. I mean, after a few deaths,
Oh
things
yeah,
hook.
yeah. I mean, what's it called? Yeah. I mean, when that happens, I mean, when you end up like killing somebody, I think that's what's gonna end up happening, right?
I do gotta say, why is everybody driving the coolest fucking cars I've ever seen in a movie?
Meanwhile, everybody now you see a bunch of Honda Civics and
Yeah. Too fast.
Toyota
Too
Corollas.
furious. I'm too fast for y'all, man.
Yeah. Meanwhile, people in this time were like driving the coolest shit, bro. It's like, yeah, I didn't get to pull up to school in that. It's like I didn't get to pull up to school in that. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
My brother pulled up to school in a Hyundai Elantra. I was like, oh, you didn't get to pull up in a fucking sports car. Oh, it's like an American muscle car. Yeah,
Yeah, those things were badass.
yeah,
Now they're worth like six figures easy, 5 to 6
yeah,
figures.
yeah, yeah. But man, like I said, Brad, like I said, movie looks good. It has a great soundtrack. I love the soundtrack. It has a bunch of good songs in
Oh yeah,
there.
they probably paid more for the soundtrack than they did anything else.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be lucky, Brad. James Gunn actually, I was asked that question, like, how much do you pay for what you for your score, like your soundtracks for having all those songs? He goes, I paid anywhere between like a cent to like millions of dollars.
Yeah,
So you'd
there
be
was
really surprised
there
what.
was one movie where Pearl Jam, they just asked for like some change. I think for
Yeah,
I forget what movie it was, but Pearl Jam was like, yeah, we just want a cent, just a
yeah.
penny.
You'd be surprised, man. What's it called? What artists are willing to put out, man? Because it's
Yeah.
like they're like, hey, fuck it. I mean, it's like we get to be in a movie, so
Well, and also it's just more marketing.
yeah.
It's basically marketing.
And also, if they're fans of what you do,
Yeah.
chances are they're like, like, hey, we'll cut you some slack. But overall, I just didn't like this movie, and I've seen better from Linklater. Um, I love the Before trilogy. I think he does better in those films. But it was like, it was just nothing that really surprised me here. Nothing that really gravitated me to what it's trying to say or what it's trying to do. But yeah. With that said, my final verdict, Brad, is I think I put it on Letterboxd like a 5.25 out of 10. No, 5.5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. Yes. Brad, what is your final verdict?
I think this movie perfectly displays a snapshot in time and creates a time capsule that we'll never see again. And me is quite amazing for a movie to do. So for that, 9 out of 10.
Have we had a massive difference like that lately, Brad?
No, I think our last one
No,
was Congo.
no, definitely not Congo. Yeah, I don't think we've had a massive gap in our
No.
scores like for a bit. So I had to throw a wrench in there, Brad. I had to
Hey,
make sure we didn't.
now it's up to the audience to tell us why Roll is wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like it might possibly happen, Brad.
I might be
Someone's gonna
wrong.
tell me.
I mean, people might hate this movie for all I know. I think it's fucking great at what it's telling.
Yeah. Well, Brad, that concludes our review of Dazed and Confused. We have another review coming next week for our Yorgos Lantimos month, and we got more reviews coming down the line. But it's gonna be a lot of fun this weekend. Friday we have the Acolyte episode 3 review, and Saturday we have The Boys season 4 episodes 1 through 3 review, and Sunday, of course, we have our House of the Dragon season 2 episode 1, which just got renewed for a third season, Brad. So don't move from this channel. You're gonna want to watch whatever we've got planned this weekend. So yeah, of course, keep up to date with us on thenerdcore.com. Twitter is at the Nerdcore _ Instagram at the Nerdcore. Discord link is on the description below. Patreon.com/thenerdcore to get this episode live, ad free, and early before anybody else gets to watch it. And of course, if you're on the YouTube comments, tell me why I'm fucking wrong or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to us. Tell us why we're wrong. And then, of course, please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell so you don't miss another review on this channel. Leave a like on the video. If you're on the podcast side of things, make sure you leave a 5-star review and follow us on your favorite podcast app of choice. All of those things help us a lot, guys, and gets our podcast to more eyes and ears. So please make sure that you guys do that. Of course, our patrons are the people that make this happen for us. Without them, I'm pretty sure none of this happens. So please, let's go. We appreciate them so much. So Brad, can you tell them about our producer Shane?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at thriftedil, or go buy something from the Suppy God at prisoncityvintage.com.
Damn straight, Brad. And of course, like I said, guys, packed weekend of a bunch of reviews. And next week we continue Yorgos Lanthimos month and have a bunch of other stuff. But for now, that's all we got for today. And of course, thank you guys so much. Keep watching the Dogtooth review. Keep showing some love to that, please. We would really appreciate it. And keep showing love to this one as well. And yeah, we got a lot more stuff coming down, Brad. So let's go ahead and send them out of here.
All right, Raul. Thank you, host, as always. Thank to all those who join us in future chats. Thank to our listeners out there, all our patron supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, all I got to say is you just got to keep living, man. LIVIN. Young Yoda out. All right.
All right.